Hello, in this video, I'll talk about N-linked glycosylation. As the name suggests, glycosylation simply means attaching a sugar tag to something. Now we talk about what is this something and what is the role of this attaching this sugar moiety. Now, simply cells attaches glycosylation tags to several proteins and enzymes. We would look in this video at what is the role of glycosylation and what is the advantage of glycosylating proteins. Now, first we should ask, where does glycosylation takes place? Glycosylation starts at the ER and several steps and modifications happening also in the Golgi apparatus. Now, N-linked glycosylation is a kind of glycosylation or a subcategory of glycosylation, which simply means attaching the glycan moiety. Glycan moiety is basically oligosaccharide, a collection of sugar molecules, to the nitrogen atom of specific asparagine amino acid. So here is the tag of a glycosylation tag that is transferred to a protein on a specific asparagine amino acid by the help of oligosyl transferase. And this glycosidic bond that is formed is at the amide nitrogen of the asparagine. So this is known as N-linked glycosylation. And this process of oligosaccharide transferase transferring this glycosyl tag is happening all in the ER lumen. Now, there are three basic steps of this whole N-linked glycosylation. First, the synthesis of the glycosylation tag that need to be transferred to specific residues on a protein. Second, the transfer of the precursor oligosaccharide to a protein and then further modify the tag in a several sequential manner. So we first talk about how this tag is synthesized, and the tag is synthesized inside the ER lumen. On the ER membrane, there is dolicol phosphate. Now, dolicol is a long chain alcohol. On dolicol phosphate, several residues of N-acetyl glucosamine attaches. Then, several residues of mannose attach to that chain, and it flips inside the ER lumen and form a backbone of this glycosylation tag. Later, several glucosyl transferase transfer glucose moieties onto this chain and completes the chain. Once it is completed, then the tag need to be transferred to a protein, and that is done by oligosaccharide transferase, which transfer this tag to proteins by the help of oligosaccharide transferase. And this is basically known as N-linked glycosylation reaction, forming the N-linked glycoside bond. And the last step is processing of the oligosaccharides, and that mostly starts in the ER but continues towards the several levels of Golgi. So we know that in the ER and also in the Golgi, several different enzymes are there, and these enzymes differentially modify these glycoside moieties in different way. So first, glucose residues are chopped off. Now, glucose residues are very important because by seeing the glucose residue, several chaperones which help in folding the proper folding of these proteins can recognize them. Now, whenever glucosidase chops off these glucose moieties, then the protein is now free to move from ER to Golgi. That means cleaving of these specific sugar moieties is important for its clearance to move out. That in that respect, we can say specific modifications in the endoplasmic reticulum is very important for proper transport of the protein. Second, the vesicles coming from the ER merge into cis-Golgi. In the cis-Golgi, using Golgi mannose 1 enzyme, several mannose residues are chopped off, and they are moving now to the medial Golgi. In the medial Golgi, the key modifications are addition of N-acetyl glucosamine residues in a sequential fashion. So N-acetyl glucosamine residues are added, and the key enzyme involved in this process is N-acetyl glucosamine transferase. Once this kind of modification is done, these proteins, along with the modified tag, is moving from medial Golgi to Trans-Golgi network. Once it reaches the Trans-Golgi, there are other modifications such as addition of galactose, addition of N-acetylmuramic acid or sometimes sialic acid, and this different kind of modification allow differential processing or differential sorting of these proteins, and that helps to understand that which locations it would be delivered, whether it would be secreted or specifically delivered to a specific organelle. Now, this N-linked glycosylation tag is pretty much conserved across eukaryotes and even archaebacteria, but very rarely in bacteria. So, first thing that comes in our mind, that what is the advantage of glycosylating proteins? N-linked glycosylation is helpful for protein folding. First of all, you can see the N-linked glycosylation helps in overall folding of the protein. In this protein folding step, it helps to ensure that the intermediates of folding are soluble enough such that they don't aggregate with each other and form aggregation product. So they help in solubilization. They also help to form a combinatorial glycocode, which could be differentially read by several molecular chaperones, which guide the protein folding and ensure proper folding of the protein. So in that respect, N-linked glycosylation is pretty helpful. Now, apart from that, since these sugar residues are very less flexible, so it can prevent the attack of several proteases onto a specific protein. In other words, it can give proteins stability and prevent proteolytic degradation. Also, in case of lymphocyte, it helps in cell-cell interaction. Lymphocyte, in order for several lymphocytes like neutrophil to move away from the capillary and reaching the tissue space, requires several cytoskeletal rearrangement and slowing down of its movement. And that happens by adhesion-based interaction, where several glycosylated residues are actually interacting with selectins, which are basically lectin, which recognize sugar moieties. And this adhesion-based interaction, actually slow down these neutrophils and allow them to rearrange its cytoskeleton and squeeze through the vascular endothelial cell layer. That is why N-linked glycosylation is so important in many respects. Now, we did talk about glycosylation, we did talk about what is the mechanism and what is the use of it. But if we talk in details, in yeast, insects, animal, and plants, the way the proteins are glycosylated and the specific modification that happens is very different. And also, I wanted to tell you that not only N-linked glycosylation, there are other type of glycosylation known as O-linked glycosylation, which has specific signaling role. I'll be talking about O-linked glycosylation in a completely different video. Till now, if you like my video, give it a quick thumbs up and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.